The armed constabulary was formed to replace the British regiments, which were leaving New Zealand by the mid-1860s, as well as a multitude of New Zealand colonial units, such as volunteer rifles, militia, military settlers, bush rangers, forest rangers and cavalry. They were created as part of the New Zealand government's self-reliance policy. The armed constabulary were full-time professionals and are the origin of the modern New Zealand Army. In the early years, the NZAC was devoted to military rather than policing duties. Now, what actually happened here, we have the rebels, the opposition forces, and the fighting occurred in the mid-19th century between imperial and colonial forces in Maori, who were opposed to government policy. Oh, there's a bit of action going on here now. So we have, looks like the regiment are coming up on the Maori forces here at the park. Now what we have to see here, we see the Maori here have got double-barrel shotguns. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the firearms here. The firearms in the 1860s fired a pure lead bullet, or a ball as they were known, and these are much larger caliber than modern military rounds. 58 to 72 caliber was typical. Now the lead ball would mushroom or fragment when hitting bone. Even flesh wounds were potentially fatal, as the ball was prone to push pieces of clothing into the wound, which then became infected. So what we have here, we have the regiment who are trying to march on this pass, which is being defended, of course, by the Maori defenders there. The firearms used by the Maori forces were mainly smoothbore muskets, double-barrel shotguns. Now these were acquired through trade. I was wondering that myself. The double-barrel shotgun was favoured for the extra firepower it gave compared to a single-barrel muzzle loader. See the Maori trying to outflank the British regiment there. Now, trade muskets such as smoothbore flintlocks did not have the same accuracy of the rifled muskets of the British forces. So the British forces, you can see, have the long-range muskets there. They could fire at a greater range as opposed to the Maori opposition here, who've got predominantly the shotguns, smoothbore shotguns, which operate at around about a 40-metre range, as opposed to the rifles, which could go up to around about 600 metres. Given the slow rate to reload these muzzles, loading fire rifles, it was important for troops to carry bayonets for self-defence. The officers might carry cap and ball revolvers as well. Now we have a, oh my goodness gracious, we have some mortars. Now, an interesting fact about these mortars, what we have there is supporting the troops here as they come into the PAR area, or the skirmish area, active zone. It took about 10 minutes, which was really interesting. They had to carry these mortars wherever they were. It took about 10 minutes to set them up ready to fire. An important thing, of course, back in the day, moisture. If those packs, the gunpowder packs, were damp in any way, when they lit the fuse, because that's how it worked, they light a fuse to fire the mortars, they wouldn't go. They wouldn't do anything. Could be a bit embarrassing. By the 1860s, breech loading systems were beginning to be adopted, which meant the bullets and powder no longer needed to be rammed down the barrel, and reloading times were much shorter then. Colonial forces used breech loading carbines in bushfighting. The Forest Rangers were the first unit to use breech loading carbines in New Zealand, and these early breech loaders still used paper cartridges instead of metal cartridges. Paper cartridges could spoil after long periods in the bush, causing misfire, so it's really important to get pretty damp out there in the bush. So we have the British regiment there are making a stand. It's a bit of, it's almost like a chess game really. Maori are moving around, trying to disrupt the regiment coming through. Well, those mortars sure make a big noise. Now, if you can imagine, we've only got a few people down here, but it could be up to 50 to 100 people on both sides. You can imagine what the noise would be like, the smell, the smoke. Quite terrifying, really. We have the regiment. As you can see, they're operating in pairs. Remember, this is a new way of fighting as opposed to the regimented all fire on command. So they're buddying up there in pairs. So once one is ready to fire, the other one should be loaded. They're trying to outflank the guys here. Look like the Maori have sustained a casualty there. The regiment seem to be all fine and intact, trying to outflank the guys. Well, you really need to have some hard leadership out there on the front line. Tough, terrifying. The smoke does give a sense of realism, and you imagine, say, about 100 or so rifles going at the same time, creating a heck of a lot of smoke, restricting visibility out there in the bush. It seems like the regiment are outflanking, positioning themselves to overrun the Maori here. As you can see, the bayonets are fixed. They're pinned down in one area now. It's almost like a game of chess. It looks like the regiment have formed a... Oh, here they come, look at this. En masse. Here they come, look at this. The final assault. It appears the final assault. What's going to happen here? It's down! Oh dear, oh dear. They disappeared into the wood. So some escaped to fight another day.